Hello, this is Baradwaj Rangan speaking to you from the sets of Mysskin's Thupparivaalan, which stars Vishal as a Sherlock Holmes style detective. So this is based on a kind of Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson.
Actually, highly inspired by Sherlock Holmes because basically I'm a fan of Baker Street irregular, one among the Baker Street irregular. My first literature is 56 short stories of Sherlock Conan Wiley.
Okay.
So it's my dream that I want to make a film based on deduction, based on detective, and also Watson.
So this is what today's scene is all about.
The detective, some evil people attempted his life, so he has already escaped. So they want to have one more assassination attempt actually. So what they do, they invite him to a particular place. That is actually I've designed as a Chinese restaurant actually. So he go inside the restaurant and he won't come back. So actually it's a whole setup actually. So he goes inside and he finds that actually it is a trap. And how he fights six people who are actually well versed in martial arts and all deadly, with a deadly weapon, and how he comes out, and with them, defeating them, and how he get the clue who has sent them. So that's what important is. So this whole fight is about that.
It's about that. Okay. And you're choreographing the fight.
Kind of, I would say. I am. My mind is there actually. I dictate.
Okay.
I am there actually.
Okay.
See, because this Chinese restaurant, I need kind of Chinese-looking guys. So there is no real fighters here. So I asked my fight master. He's basically from Vietnam. So I asked him, is it possible to get some Vietnamese fighters? So we called some 6 people, selected some 6 people. They have come actually. So we are blind.
Is there any specific style?
Nothing like that. They're not like that. They are actually fighters. They are fighters.
Okay.
They are
Not
fighters.
any specific martial arts.
Yeah, nothing actually. They know little about martial arts. I have a plan. I have written a plan. I will show you. This is my plan actually.
Okay.
This you can go through.
Okay.
It's a time bound, 3 minutes. Setting up a watch. It has to be intense. Men with swords and that is detective. Detective in his bare hands. They want to kill him. He wants to hold them. Wants to get a clue from them. 6 men. Speed, graceful, stylish. Using anything, any object as a weapon. Close combat situation. Using hands to block, dodge and hit. 1-to-1, 1-to-2, 1-to-3, 1-to-4, 1-to-6. This is what the basic idea.
So this is the restaurant set.
This is the restaurant set.
Okay. So your name you took it from Dostoevsky,
Dostoevsky,
right? The Idiot.
Idiot.
So what inspired you about that character that you said I want to be?
I read that book when I was 16 years old. I don't say now that I understood everything what Dostoevsky written. But the character was very deeper. It is a mirror image of Christ with so much of love. And the man, Prince Mysskin, does not know what is harm in his life. He cannot even imagine harm to anybody. So that life is, that person is deeply influenced, exactly like a Christ. So when I wanted to have, when I entered into movies and I wanted to have a name, and immediately it struck me as Prince Mysskin. So though I'm not a Prince Mysskin, so I wanted to have that word Mysskin.
Are you religious?
In a very different kind of way. In a very different kind of way. Not believing in hell and heaven.
Okay.
I'm religious.
Okay. That's
I think
surprising.
the very word religion comes from really ligar. It means to again to one with God or one with something greater. So I believe that no names. I don't follow by any nouns.
But despite the fact that you read so much, what is the last book you read?
You can ask me what are the books I'm reading instead of what is the last.
Okay, what are the books?
I'm reading. Right now I'm reading Boys in Zinc by a Russian. It's a reportage. I'm also reading Miyamoto Musashi's 5 Rings. I'm reading some 5-6 books of Carl Gustav Jung.
Okay.
I'm also going to read Gogol's Dead Souls.
Okay.
Just finished reading Uncle Vanya by Chekhov.
Okay.
So I'm reading here and there. I'm reading. In between, I'm reading samurai thing, and I'm also reading comics. Many things I'm reading.
So it's interesting that you said young because you say that your filmmaking comes from the unconscious, right?
Yes.
So how does it happen? Do you dream? You wake up this morning and you.
I can give you a very classic example for when I was doing Yuddham scene. So when I wanted to make a film,
Okay.
that is after my third film, So I had an image, I had a dream uh, about one painting
Okay.
which I had seen long time back when I was young.
Okay.
Maybe I would have seen in my passing. It's just a passing impression, but it's a kind of a distorted face, a close-up. So this I dreamed. It's a very short duration dream actually, not a lengthy one.
Okay.
This image comes and comes and comes and goes up. It's a recurrent theme for the
It's-
period
it's-
of
it's an
a
image
week.
of what?
Yeah, image of one distorted face. No,
Okay.
it was not very clear. And there is another real wake life images. There is one woman, old woman, sitting in a court waiting for her verdict. And then the judge comes and everybody stands up, and she is actually sitting very quietly. She looks very beautiful for her 60 years old. And then the judge asks him, is there is anything you want to say, or if anything you want to do? And she said, I want a cigarette. So it is all real image. My imagination is actually selling. Then she asked, I need a cigarette. So they were all, everybody was shocked. But the judge says, please help her. So somebody gives her a cigarette and she smokes. Somebody lights and she smokes and smokes and smokes. And very important detail is the ash is not falling down.
Okay.
Okay, it's sticking out, and she smokes, and at last, the last drag, and she puts off and then spits in the court itself. That's the image, that's what the image. It means she spits about the whole law and everything. So this is a wakeful day image, and that is one dream image. And this image comes again for 1 month chasing me. Wherever I go, I would be very busy doing something, and suddenly this image will come. That lady's image will come.
Right.
And then I was worried. Why? Because I have not started anything about what kind of movie I am going to do. I was not very clear. I was not clear. I was randomly searching for some inspiration, some idea to come to me. Nothing is happening.
Right.
And at the time I was invited for Norway, and Nandalala was screened there.
Okay.
So it was selected for some award. So I went there. And after the award function, I asked for is there any other art gallery or something. They said there is one very famous man's art gallery. So I went in there. One of the best art gallery I've ever seen. I went in there. It's Edward Munch's.
Yeah.
I went inside, and I was shocked to my life that I saw a painting which I've seen in my dream. That is Scream. That image is called Scream. That distorted image, the close-up. I think there is a 4 or 5 version of his rendering. So I saw the, I think, 3rd version or something. It's very authentic, and I was shocked. So then now I realize why this dream image occurred to me. And then immediately I want to understand, I want to connect this old woman image. Then I'm very clear about one lady is there. Then I will roll it in a reverse. Okay, she looks like God-fearing and well-educated and respecting the law, and all the factors I could see on her face. Then why she is there? Why she is given a punishment? What she has done? Then again I rewind it. And then I say, what if she has committed murder? Okay, why she wants to commit single-handedly? What if she has committed murder with the family? And why they committed? What if they have a daughter?
Ah.
And what if somebody else was spoiled her? And when the family goes through this kind of hell happening inside their house, how they will react?
Yeah.
And being a very harmless people, can there a way out there where they can behave or they can answer? They don't just leave it just a fate happen to them. What if it's perpetrated by, designed by some bad people? Regularly they are doing. What if they come to know about this? They simply kill, or they simply vanish, or they commit suicide, or what they do. This is what they inquire. This is how the movie happened actually.
Your dream was about a woman,
Yeah.
but ultimately in Yuddham side, the protagonist ended up as a man.
Yeah.
Do you ever see yourself making a movie with a woman protagonist?
If you watch my Ithan Pesari and this Yuddham Sai, I believe protagonists are both of women.
They're both women? Okay.
Women. See, the first movie, it's about a girl's fixation towards her father.
Right.
A kind of Oedipal fixation. And she believes there is only one man in her life, is father. So how she is coming out of that image? He is perfect, is embodiment of perfectness. So how she is going to come out? So I juxtapose with one rowdy, one raw guy, one unclean guy.
Yeah.
So then their interaction made him to realize and change. And he changes into such a pure human being. And then she understands, my father is having a stain. That's why the whole movie, the father is actually erasing the stain, the whole movie, impulsively. So if you see my first movie, I started my career, woman as a protagonist.
So you see her as the driving force of the
Even
film.
Picasso, I would say, woman is a protagonist.
I was just going to ask you that
That's-
because she's basically the driving force and the movie is named after her.
After her.
So I have this question. What made you see her after she becomes a ghost? What made you see her in a white wedding gown kind of dress rather than I don't know, anything else? Because
Nearly for one month we were breaking our heads how to find what to give her as an attire. No, see, we have an idea about what is ghost because we have been regularly exposed to movies and kind of paintings. Or then I want to understand what is that? What is that white symbolizes? Instead of white, I said, okay, we'll add little green and blue. Okay, then we'll add some little dirt on that. Then she is uncouth and unkempt, and that added also was an attire actually. Her hair is also an attire.
right,
actually.
right.
So that's how we arrived at the dress. Actually. Then I don't want to show her face too. But naturally, see, we always terrorize the audience showing their face with a kind of all this tooth and all.
Right.
So instead of that, I'm also going to show her face, but not very hardly in 4 frames or 10 frames or something like that. In the final, I want to see her face.
Okay.
In the final, when I see her face, then it should be like a kind of an angelic face.
Right.
That's why I covered up face in the first 75% of the whole movie. Then I want to see, it's like coming close to her, coming to understand what is ghost, because we have been regularly told by our parents and our societies ghost is a kind of an evil thing.
Right.
And so it always don't go close to that, go away from that. I think humans are to be scared actually, not ghosts to be scared actually. So this is what the idea basically.
Let's talk about a couple of your male protagonists. When you, this is Thupparivaalan, this film stars Vishal. This is the second film you're making with a big hero after Mugamudi.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're all actors who are not necessarily stars. So what do you think went wrong with Mugamudi?
See, the idea started as a fellow who is living on the platform, who collects paper from the road. One day he witnesses a crime. So he uses that sack as his cover-up.
Okay.
And he fights them. And the next day something happens, again he uses the same thing. Then his friends and all asking, can you do that regularly? So mind your business. This is the idea. And he says, no, I can bust the crime. I cannot simply see the crime happening in front of me and keep quiet and walk off. That's how the transformation of hero. This is the basic idea of Mugamudi. But what happened, maybe had I done in 4 crore budget, I think I would have stuck to my initial idea. What happened, then we roped in a big hero, then we pumped in more money, then we also then it went haywire. I couldn't hold it. But if you look deeply into the script, I think I lost my track in the second act.
Okay.
See, once I established, till people always say it's not a great movie up to the first act. People accepted the first half is good. Second half, actually, what happened after he dons the dress, there is no place for me to establish him as actually he has become a superhero. So people couldn't buy that when he started coming in the other next reels that he started doing adventures and all. They couldn't take him actually. So that was an important flaw that I committed, which I also learned. So when you establish somebody, see, he'll be hero and that's a character. Then he transform into a superhuman. That superhuman was not justified. So I think that is a major flaw of Muhammadi.
Have you now? This is also a big budget movie.
But it's a very big budget movie.
So have any learnings from that film that you're
Naturally. See, here there is no transformation of character. He starts as a detective, and he gets a case, and he gets down into the hell, and then the story slowly reveals that he is what he thought. It's a very simple problem. It's humongous.
Okay.
It's a gang of evil men, very intelligent than him, and they perpetrate crimes, hideous crimes, and how he stops. And he also loses himself, and also loses his very close people. And he also comes to the learning that evil cannot be eradicated from this earth.
Lovely. So we were talking about a big hero film. We keep hearing on and off about you doing a film with Kamal Hassan. What is is it a rumor? Is it something?
We were about to do a movie. In fact, we were working on the script and we finalized the script. It's about Buddha. It's about Buddhist philosophy, which happened after 8 centuries of Buddha.
Okay.
It is about how his tooth, the left canine tooth, traveled all the way to Ceylon. There's a base. The idea is a real idea. It's actually happened.
Okay.
But out of that, from Padaliputra, the tooth was taken by his own daughter. They reached Tambralpatti, which is on the east side. So one of the very famous port in that time. This is happening after 8 centuries after the death of Buddha. So from there they took a ship and they traveled 14 days and they reached Simhala. Simhala is present day Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka, yeah.
So my idea, so when they were taking the tooth to that fortress, and in between there are many people, they wanted to steal the tooth.
Right.
So instead of they reaching Tambralpatti, they moved on the south side. And what if they moved to Andhra and Tamil Nadu border? And there's only one port city in Tamil Nadu is actually Pumbuvar at the time.
Yeah.
And that is what my idea. So they moved, instead of Tambralpatti, they moved and they reached Andhra, Tamil Nadu border. And from there the story starts. From there, that point the story starts.
So what role would Kamal Hassan have played?
Kamal Hassan was about to play a bandit. He was actually evil man. Of course, bandit, you know, that you can understand. And so he comes across this tooth, and he was given a job by the king and to take the tooth.
Okay.
To accompany a retinue. That is his punishment.
Okay.
And his families and another 40 members were taken as custody. And if they accompany the retinue, that means to accompany the tooth and reach Pumbar and come back with a seal.
Right.
And he will be pardoned and his family and other relatives will be freed. So imagine a bandit, who does not know anything about truth or honor or virtue, and he travels and he learns and he becomes Buddha. That's what idea.
So what happened? Why isn't the movie being made?
I think we couldn't get the funds because at that time itself we budgeted it was nearly 60 to 70 crores.
Okay.
And so we tried some good companies, but many things happened in between, and I think it happened good for me that I dropped the project because at that time I think that had I done that movie, it would have been a very shoddy film actually. So So now I believe that now I'm maybe in another 2-3 years time I can try with Kamal Hassan or somebody else. Actually, I think it's there actually.
So, okay, when you look back at your first film, Chitram Pesadare today, uh, what do you see a lot of mistakes? Do you see that it was a good
Naturally,
film?
every movie I make mistake. In fact, I think that is one of the best thing that I do. I think only when I do a creative process, mistakes are so beautiful. From there, you can learn actually. Even what I am doing right now, it's not. I don't say it's a great film. It's so many mistakes. Even when I do edit, I always every evening I'll edit. I'll shoot and every evening I'll go and edit, and I find how many mistakes I've done. But I've grown from Chitram Pesari. This thing I've grown.
Undoubtedly.
I would say that I got an objectivity. See myself, separate myself, and not being too subjective when I compose a shot, when I narrate a story, when I keep instructing my actors. Um, I think I'm learning. I would say this is the best period. I'm 46 now, and I think my life philosophy also now one with my movie making. So I think I've taken a right boat actually. So I'm slowly drifting.
Well, what would you say if I told you you're one of the finest filmmakers today in Tamil cinema? I truly believe this. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm humbled actually. That's what I say. But I always keep two gurus on my left and right, Kurosawa and Bresson. In front of them, I'm a pygmy actually. I'm nothing. Not out of humility, and I'm very with so much of truth and sincerity. I'm saying that. If I could make my whole career, if I could make one scene like in Seven Samurai or in Pickpocket, I think I would call myself as a director.
Okay.
So I always put myself. See, it always happens. The ego always comes out. Now, when you make something good, and some people suddenly come and appreciate you, and you always feel that you feel little glorified. Then you go and be with masters and sit under them, and immediately your ego will be shattered. So it's always so when you say that I'm very apprehensive when you see that, but I understand because you are the best critic which Tamil Nadu has produced, and you also written something bad about me and also good about me. And recent days you are always writing good about me. I'll take it, but I don't take it. I don't put it in my pocket. I'll just hold it.
Do you have a favorite film of yours? Among all the films you've made?
Onai Matukutty is my favorite.
Onai Matukutty. Okay.
All right, because it's a very, after the mishap of Muhammadi, I wanted to make a film, a sincere film, because I felt so bad, not the flop of Muhammadi. I lost the track, I felt because I was not very sincere when I was doing my movie making process. My personal problems, and my perseverance and my attitude towards movie making, it was not so complete at the time. So I take all the responsibility on my shoulder and really wanted to come up with something sincere, not as a bang, not as a big hit. I want to do a sincere film actually for myself.
Okay.
So I didn't mean Onai Matukutty as to make a hit film, to be a comeback, not like that. I really wanted to make myself believe that I am a sincere filmmaker. So that's why I wrote a film. That's why I cast myself as an actor. That's why I took so much of risk. And that's why I take all the decisions away from what the usual industry do when they make a film. Oh, it's a one night of the whole thing is happening in one night. It's a thriller and it's on run, always on the run. And we have to do some fight sequence where I have to take a lot of script. It's a kind of very cathartic experience I went through when I was doing. In fact, the last scene where I kneel down and fall in front of a small child, I very sincerely, deliberately I place the camera behind her so that the audience is there behind her. So I really want to touch their feet. I've done a bad film, and I'm going to revive again, and I'm going to resurrect again as a director. And please forgive me.
Lovely. Do you see yourself as a mainstream filmmaker?
I'm not very sure about how I understand the demarcation actually, mainstream filmmaker and a filmmaker. I am accepted as a mainstream filmmaker, but I don't want to be in a mainstream to follow the same a pattern of what is actually happening here, which I don't know, because it bores me.
Right.
And usually I don't watch that many films. Hardly one film per year I watch. And for that I have to be recommended at least 100 recommendations I should get. Otherwise I don't watch film. Because watching a film becomes a very tiring process. Of course I watch a lot of classics, mostly English movies or foreign movies. But Tamil movies I restrict myself.
What is the last Tamil film you saw?
Film Managaram I watched. I like the film. It's not a complete film. It's a, I could understand a dilettante thing, but it's okay. It's a good, cute film.
Did you watch Ettu Thottakkal?
I have not watched because it's done by my assistant. I always separate my assistant's movie from me because I am a very heartless critic when it comes to my assistant's films.
Okay.
So which really damage them. See, because I teach them everything which I learned. I don't keep anything for me. So I tell them. So I always so scared know if I comment. So I've commented in my past. I've commented, and they are really damaged, and they developed a kind of enmity towards me when it comes to their own film.
Okay.
So now I keep aloof actually. So when I hear that the movie is good, then I'll appreciate. Then the movie maker will come and say, "Sir, you must watch." Naturally, a guru should watch his movie. And I would say, "See, I'm very happy that movie is a hit, but give me some time, maybe 1 or 2 years. After that, I'll get an objectivity. I'll see that, and at the time, you will be grown, where I can say you should have done this and don't this. I can find flaws and I can tell you, and you'll have the courage enough to accept that flaws." This is what.
So the reason I ask is also that there is a lot of you in that film.
Yeah.
And do you find that there is a Mysskin school that's kind of coming up right now?
See, basically, my movies are visual-oriented movies. See, I have a very specific way of composing shots, staging the actors, or approaching the space in a very different way. I have a very specific style, I would say.
Right,
I
right.
have developed so far. I am not sure what style that I do, because people always say this is your style, because I keep camera on the foot, because I like to capture the foot. It's like I find the foot is more clear than the face, and the foot communicates me more than a face actually.
Can you explain that?
Very simple. See, when I was doing.
So you're talking about the shots where you just see the foot, right?
Yeah, I can just see the foot. I can compose. No, see, all my movies are journeys. So particularly when you see in the third act, no, the protagonists move here and there. It is any movie.
Right.
The protagonist on the third act, he does not know where to go actually.
Right.
So he moves from here and there. I always wanted to capture that. I always push my characters to the extreme. I always block them. So I don't provide a path where they can simply walk or simply run. No, I always put hurdles. So there I understand what is the conflict. No, I understand. I like to capture the food. I didn't know it is. I don't know. All my life, from my childhood, I always like to watch people how they walk.
Okay.
What is their gait? You know, I always like to walk. I always understand people by walking, and I also developed a theory which I don't want to reveal that. It is so happened that I read one small anecdote long time back on a German doctor who used to have a long veranda where he sits in the corner and he lets the patient to walk in for 50 feet, and just by seeing their walking, and he'll write the antidote.
Okay.
This I read actually a long time back. So I find people, the way they walk. See, in Tamil they say veera mari nadappaanga, kola mari nadappaanu solluvaanga. And tremendous amount of time I have invested on studying people's walk. So I always like to capture the feet actually. So once in a while my mind instructs me to go and capture them, go and zoom on the feet. And particularly when I was doing Nandalala, it is about a journey again. And the 2 feet, it's juxtaposing a child feet with an adult feet.
Right.
That was a magic for me. Every time I go, I never get bored. People get bored. People wanted to see. They want to have a psychological closer to understand
a creator's process. So for them, it's easy to capture, and they have a close. Okay, when there is a Mysskin film, at least there should be a 4-5 shots on the feet. Now I'm increasing, and I don't mind. Because of that, I don't want to say that no, it's not my style, and don't put me in a circle. No, I don't know. It's okay. It's okay. Then I come to realize one man has shown the hands so much in the whole of his film career is Bresson.
Yeah.
If you go on Google that thing, just put Bresson's hand, there is a beautiful YouTube where how Bressons have used hands.
Right.
So I think once in a while, no, see, some of the directors, they like to go in a profile shots, a lot of profile shots. Some want to go extreme close-ups. So it's a kind of thing I develop. So what I'm trying to say here, see, I have a very specific style, specific way to approach a character or staging. So this has become a kind of
Myskinism.
kind of Myskinism. So which you can't comment on that. I just accept it. That's all.
Okay, so let me ask about another
So
Myskinism.
this
right?
thing, my assistants, invariably they follow. Naturally, they cannot do actually, and they also like to do that.
Right.
They also like to do that actually. One way I'm happy, when I'm also called by my shots actually. They've given a kind of name to some short making. I'm happy, and also I think I should also come out of that. Let's see.
Okay. So this is the end of part 1. Stay tuned for the second part of this conversation next week.